Hey guys, Kiki Kannon here and welcome to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about foam clay, specifically this Black Magic from the Foamery. And as a disclaimer, this video is not sponsored, but this is a material I bought sometime last year and I haven't gotten around to using it until now. So I was going to show you some quick things that I have made with it so far, primarily for some cosplay projects, but it might work well for something that you are doing. So if this is something that's interesting to you, please feel free to stick around. It's a very cheap, easy to work with material, so I do recommend it. And of course, all the links will be below, and I hope you guys stick around for the whole video. So I was hoping to do a nice comparison with some model magic that I had in my studio. However, I left it alone too long and it has since gone bad. I thought I sealed the bag good enough. It's maybe been a year now, but it is pretty much trash at this point. Model magic was a material that a lot of cosplayers did use originally when there wasn't any other options. I had used it on some of my earlier costumes. It wasn't my personal favorite thing. I mean, I did like that it was like sandable and sort of easy to work with, but we managed to work with what we had. And I was told that the new foam clay stuff is basically the same thing rebranded. But since working with it, I don't know that I really agree with that. I feel like it is a little bit different and it has a little bit more workability and the shelf life is longer, but I'm just kind of going off of memory. So I've had this for about over a year now and it's been staying pretty moist and I haven't had any problems with it drying out yet, but I also am really careful to seal the bag. So one of the projects that I started using this Black Magic for was my Mercy. I have my foam armor here and I'm just sculpting easy little spikes that are going to go on the armor. So it's pretty easy to sculpt and then sand, and I just sanded the bottom of these on my belt sander, and you can just glue them on the same using cement glue, and it just sticks on there pretty much just like foam to foam. And you can always do more detailed stuff and more elaborate sculpting. I haven't sculpted anything too crazy yet with the foam clay, but I am eager to give it a try, maybe for a future project. Here's another piece that I'm working on for my Black Queen costume. And these are the pieces that just rest on her hips, which I'm also using the foam clay on. I went ahead and got this mold, which is Evil Ted Smith's mold. You can get it, I think, maybe on his website. I bought mine at the craft store, if they still have them. I think I've seen them there. You can also, if you want to, go ahead and make your own mold. But this just happened to be absolutely perfect for what I envisioned in this costume. So I was happy to snag one because it is working really, really great for this project. So one thing I like about the clay is you can just easily press it in, and it's a nice, cheap, kind of great starter material in my opinion. That's really easy to use, and you can use it with your hands without worrying about a lot of tools. You do lose a little bit of the detail with some of the expanding with the foam, but overall it's pretty much accurate to whatever your mold is. I find it's best to shape it before letting it dry versus letting it dry and then trying to shape it is a little bit more difficult. And I didn't do a super clean job, so with any extra pieces that you're going to have to cut off, you can use an X-Acto knife and easily get any kind of edges or cleanup that you want to do on your pieces after they're dry. So this one has a lot more edging, so let me just go ahead and do another one that's cleaner than that, since that was kind of a mess. But if you kind of just feed it in there, you don't want to do it in sections because then you'll get a line across your design. So you just kind of want to do it all in one go. And you can just pull out the extra and fit it in there to have less excess so you have less cleanup and less waste. So I still have some excess obviously because of how the design is, but again, you can just cut it out. It's easier to cut it out once it's dry because when it's soft, it's just kind of going to pull at it and it's not really going to work as well. So once it's dry, just to give an idea, it's pretty easy to break. It does have some flex and will stretch. I think it's kind of important to know the material so that you know kind of what you can use it for or what you can put it on or how thick you should make it. It's just important to know its limitations for what you're able to do with it. So I'm going to do a test with heating it up to see if you can form it after it's hard. So I can already see that the pieces are bending from getting hot and it is giving and being a little bit flexible. I think you just have to be a little bit careful with it and try not to force it too much and making sure that it's still hot. And you could probably just slowly work it into shape if you happen to make a piece that needed a little bit more work, but as you can see, I still did tear it because it wasn't hot enough and it wasn't careful enough. I think if you keep the material at the right temperature and play with it, you can heat it, but it is easier when it is soft. And as I mentioned before, this material is sandable, so you can always sand the backs of it for fitting your pieces better together or sanding any of the edges for cleanup if you don't want to use the X-Acto knife or you're just trying to smooth something out. That's also an option and it sands pretty easily. You can also use the Dremel. I'm just going to use sandpaper on these just because they're so small and delicate. It's not really necessary for me to use the Dremel on those pieces. And the last test I'm going to do to show you guys is a painting test, and the foam's pretty easy to paint. For these pieces, I wanted kind of a antique look, a little bit rough. So I am just going to paint on some black because the black that it comes in has a little bit of a dull grayish tint, and I just want a darker dark. So I'm just going to paint a couple layers of black, and then I'm just going to add some gold and do a little bit of dry brushing, which gives this antique look that I was kind of going for. I didn't want anything too complicating. It was just enough to get the results that I wanted. And the paint sticks on there really, really well. And the surface is already like really smooth because it picks up the texture of the mold. So because the mold is really smooth, I don't really have to do any smoothing. I don't really have to add any layering for any of that. And I already got pretty smooth results just because the mold was super smooth. And so for this, I didn't do any priming. I just didn't really feel like it was necessary. And I was able to get the results I wanted. And the paint does stick to the product very well. So overall, I would say it's very, very easy to work with this material. It's easy to paint. And I highly recommend it if you want to start getting into cosplay or starting on a material that is less expensive to build off your foam skills. So thank you guys so much if you're able to make it through the whole video. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. And I want to give a big thank you to all my Twitch supporters this month. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and subbing, as well as a big thank you to Holden Cross, who has donated $50 to the studio this month. Also, just a couple updates. I do have a new prop in my Kannon Studios Etsy shop. You can check it out, the WandaVision crown, as well as I have started a new shop called Kannon Designs where I sell a variety of coasters. So please feel free to check that out as well. All the links will be below. And if you're interested in more cosplay crafting content or just general crafting content, please feel free to consider to subscribe. So thanks guys.